Tokyo, Japan. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Welcome to episode 14, which is Love is Work. Let me say that again. Love is work. I'm always surprised with the amount of resistance I encounter when I introduce this idea, and this comes from constructive living. Let me explain. When you have the initial stage of a relationship, usually you're taking time and you consider the other person, consider what the other person likes and wants to do. So you're actually investing your time and your thoughts and your efforts. Some would consider that a fashion of work. And I think that's pretty much true. In fact, when people are having a difficult time in a relationship, what I suggest they do is they do what we say in constructive living is a secret service. And a secret service is you do something for that other person secretly, and they can't find out. And we usually assign like 10 secret services. With the trick being, if that person discovers any one of those 10, you have to start over again. With the target being you're thinking of the other person. You're taking time and focusing your actions into more or less an appreciation of that person. Let me give you an example. I love my wife. Now, that's an abstract concept. An abstract concept is anything that cannot be counted, measured, or weighed. All of the emotions are abstract. Many other words are abstract too. Wonderful, success, failure. These are all abstract ideas. If you want the abstract idea to have more power, then you define it in concrete terms. Concrete terms can be measured, weighed, or counted. So, I love my wife. What does that mean? And this is true. I call my wife usually an average of 4 times a day, because I'll leave the house to go to my first appointment, and after I get to my first appointment, I'll call her and say, well, I'm here at my first appointment, and soon I'm going to be going into work, but I wanted to call and say thank you for fixing coffee and having coffee with me this morning, and for seeing me off. I really appreciate that. It starts my day in a positive way. Thank you. And then I'll call her throughout the day, and the last time I'll call her is usually, well, I'm here at the station. I've arrived. Is there anything you'd like me to pick up from the supermarket? Okay, well, I'm on my way. I give her 1 fresh flower a week. Now, it doesn't. You don't have to go to a florist and buy a flower. Sometimes I'll do that. More times than not, I'll find a wildflower in the park, or maybe a little flower that's burst out of the concrete. Just made its way through the concrete, and I'll pick that flower and give it to her. At least 1 fresh flower a week. And the third thing I do is I give her 1 present every month. Now, it can be something that's store-bought, it can be a little toy. Once I took a large piece of paper and cut ridges on the top, and then took a paper clip and made a crown for her. The idea is I'm taking the time, I'm investing the time, investing my thoughts into what she might be pleased with. Love is work. Love takes time. Love takes attention. And when you do this, because you're giving to somebody else, for me, it's a very positive event. So, love is work. Thanks. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.